Welcome to the Ancient Way. I'm James.
I'm Marlia.
Time crunch, yeah. This is going to be kind of a time crunch episode. Busyness.
It's been interesting. We've both been pretty busy lately.
Yeah.
Not bad, just...
No, in a good way.
Yeah. There's a couple of things I've been thinking about that I want to talk about on this podcast.
Yeah.
Several of them. So who knows? This may be just one of those randos.
Yeah. I have no clue what you're going to say, but...
One, I've been thinking about worship because that's kind of been our thing, right?
Yeah.
That we've kind of talked about, some of our guests that are coming on. I've been thinking about worship and what that looks like and just my own expression of it and corporately, but then individually and all this stuff. And, I'm very much of a person about sound and frequencies.
Yeah.
Like that is kind of my vein. And I started to think about it. I was like, how do I engage God in worship?
Mm-hmm.
I engage the frequencies.
Yeah.
Like if I hear a sound that feels like him, I will open myself to it.
Yeah.
And especially, it's kind of a lot like pretty much anywhere in music that I'm listening to. If it feels like him, I open myself into that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I basically posture myself for like, what do we have? What do you want?
Yeah.
What are we going to do
let it
here?
take you that direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I realize that that's what I do in worship.
Cool.
Like on Sunday mornings, I engage the sound. Like if there's a frequency or a note that we play, I could stay on one note because it resonates with me.
Yeah.
And I feel myself engage it. If it's a drum beat that Zach is playing, I will engage that. I'll find my way as I'm playing notes. Like I kind of get my way into that.
Interesting.
And I realize that that's how I engage God in the sound.
Huh.
It's like I will go connect to it. I go connect to the things that pull on me. That's where I have my visions. That's where passion gets unlocked in me.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you, when it comes to worship and sounds and all of that, how do you, because I think we all do it differently, how do you engage God in that?
Oh, in worship?
Yeah. Do you feel like it's the sounds? Do you feel like it's the lyrics? Do you feel like it's what aspects?
I mean, I think they all reinforce it. I think they are all parts of it. I don't know. In worship, I'm with him and I feel his love for me and for everybody else.
Yeah.
But it is, you let go.
But it's in the sound.
It is in the sound.
There has to be a part of the sound.
Yeah.
Well,
it's like I've said before too, like with worship, it's an expression, but it's also an invitation.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's coming from that place, then it's tangible and you can latch onto it and let it pull you in as well.
Yeah. I think it's interesting because it's like they're the invitations. It's almost like the sound is the invitation to then see more.
Yeah.
But you have it's almost like this valley of decision, if you will.
Yeah.
Of do you surrender and go into it?
Yeah.
So you go see more, so you feel more, so you experience more, or do you get pulled out because of your own thoughts or your own consciousness?
Yeah.
One thing I was thinking is we all have different levels of consciousness, right? And by consciousness, I mean we're consciously either thinking about something, consciously engaging in something. And I think that conscious mind can actually limit where we're going.
Right.
Because then we start to think.
Yeah.
And when we think, we can't experience or we can't feel.
Yeah.
And so it's
the
almost...
logic of it, yeah.
Yes. And it's like getting outside of that. Like if you can connect to the sound, you can get out of your thinking brain.
Yeah.
And get into the feeling. And then out of the feeling or the emotional, quote unquote, those are big emotions.
Well, that's what it is to be like a child, though.
Yeah.
It is. Let go. Look at kids. I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the analytical brain.
Yeah.
That's not even fully formed until you're 25.
Really?
Yeah. The prefrontal cortex is not finished forming. Some people say, for men, some people say 25, some people say 30.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's well, of course. How much of our thinking prevents us from connecting into the depths?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's interesting. Have you ever, I'm trying to think of an example. Maybe running is one. Like it can be. If you think too much about it, or jump roping. Jump rope is a good one. If you think too much about it, it's usually when you trip up.
Yeah.
Rather than just go with it.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a beautiful example though.
Uh-huh.
Because jump roping, you have to practice it in the beginning.
Yeah.
Till it becomes a habit. And I think that's what even getting outside of your mind, the analytical mind, and meditation and all of that, you have to practice that.
Yeah.
It is a muscle to be exercised.
But then the process, it's almost like the movement of your entire body becomes just like a melody, and you just let yourself go with it.
You just do it.
When you think about it, it's when you fall over. That's true.
Yeah. So how much of our life is actually supposed to be, some things I think are practiced until our senses are trained.
Right.
And then they're just used.
Yeah. Right.
You know, like I was thinking about that scripture in Hebrews 5:14 where it talks about by reason of use.
Yeah.
These senses are exercised.
Yeah.
But it was like, what if like they're actually exercised?
Yeah.
So then like with running, you're not having to exercise. You're actually just doing it.
You flip the switch and there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. You're just in it.
Yeah.
It becomes second nature. It becomes habitual.
Yeah.
Not in a negative way, just a habit that you're always looking. Where are you, God?
Yeah.
Where's your frequency? How can I connect in this?
That's true.
In the room.
Yeah.
What's our play here? What are we doing? Okay, we're sitting. Okay, we sit.
Yeah.
You know, but like feeling peace, feeling joy, feeling hope, feeling whatever that is.
Well, that's what it is to prioritize heaven and everything too. I like that. Like, where are you in this? Yeah. Where's my peace and where's my joy?
Yeah. And I think even, you know, when even the simplicity of just hearing God's voice, right?
Yeah.
Like we're not trying to strive to obtain. We're practicing presence. We're practicing stillness.
Yeah.
We're practicing just getting out of the way, and we exercise that. So then it just becomes second nature.
Yeah.
Like I'm still.
And that is so like releasing, letting go is so counter to what we've been taught and grown into. I remember that early on being one of the hardest things for me. When everything clicked was when you learn how to let go and release.
Totally.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that today. So there was some language that was used that I thought was interesting. And the statement was they were fighting for the presence in terms of worship, like trying to fight to come into that reality.
Contending for it.
Yeah, but it came from a pure place. And I was like, I can see that. But my second thought was, what if it's not so much about us fighting as much as it's us letting go?
Yeah.
And what if it's more about giving your soul's rights up? Because that's where we go. Our soul gets into our mind.
Yeah.
And our soul is almost leading the charge versus surrendering our mind, surrendering our conscious thoughts of how we think it should be, or that we're not feeling it or whatever. And we just connect into our spirit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That is interesting. Like, do you think that's a key to unlocking worship on like a higher level? Do you think
100%,
it's something that can be?
100%. Because I've been thinking about it this week. I think it's the art.
That eliminates you even thinking like I have to produce the quality of worship.
Yes.
For this moment.
Yes. And if you can just connect into the sound, connect into where do you feel him, and you let go.
Yeah.
And then that's when you ride the wave.
Let go of the turnout. Let go of any expectations of what you think it's supposed to look like,
or the words you're supposed to sing, or the melodies we're supposed to produce, or the spontaneous that we're supposed to go into, just or like we just are.
Yeah,
we just are in the moment.
Yeah,
and we are just expressing. And I think that's even for people who are engaging in worship.
Yeah,
like it's the art of letting go.
Yeah,
letting go what you think people are thinking about you.
Yeah,
because that's a weird one.
But
that's
a life thing too. It really is.
Where have you seen when you let go, you saw advancement come?
Oh, hold on. Let me think. I have to think about things before I answer them.
That's valid.
It's usually my answer is I'm in one now. Probably every time. I'm in one now.
Timely questions is what it is, James.
I'm in one now. Well, timely questions. I'm in one now. And what's cool is like, I think about it and I'm like, well, it's not that one.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to turn out that way. But then even that, I'm like, it could turn out that way. I'm like, anything is possible.
Mm-hmm.
And so lately my thoughts have been like, I'm good regardless. And it's like nothing else matters. And this just takes me, but nothing else matters except him, connection with him, heaven. That's it. Nothing else.
Mm.
And so, but I expect him to do some crazy weird thing. And it's like
Totally.
In the strangest, weirdest places, if you can just have that faith, he'll meet it.
Mm.
He'll meet that faith, and then it's belief and it's reality. And I'm thinking, okay, what's going to happen after a year from now, I'll know what happened.
Totally.
I can rest in that now. And then I'll have that. It's like, and if I go through this with him and I maintain that faith, of like, I don't know what's going to happen and I don't care. You're going to, whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
What's the next level?
Mm-hmm.
What's the next stage, So I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah.
Going back to it. It's usually circumstances for me.
Mm-hmm.
People, say, James, you're just ignorant or you don't care. I've gotten that one before. Like, how do you not care? I'm like, I mean, it's not like a blind, I see the situation and I even want to call them different things. I don't even want to call it a trial, really.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's a thing. It's a thing that is here. And I get to sit back and judge it and make a choice on my heart in the matter,
Yeah.
and trust him. So anyways.
It's not a trial.
Well, I was thinking
about a level up moment.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, what do you call things?
It's a game.
It's a thing.
It's a freaking game.
Yeah, it's like, oh, here's a new thing. Because if it's even on the scale of good or bad, it's you're kind of missing it.
Mm-hmm.
But it is like, is this good or bad? It's like, no.
It's not.
It's him. Stick with him in it and come out of it on the other side.
Totally.
Pull you right through it. And then what's next?
Mm-hmm.
But
I think the key in that is letting go.
It is.
There's so much, like, if you let go of how you think it's supposed to be, if you let go of the expectations that you have, or you let go of the idea that you're supposed to show up in a certain way.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I'm just showing up with him, period.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. We're playing out the options and all that. It's just a waste of time.
Yeah, man.
But it's a discipline. It's the same. It's same thing as like, unlearning things. But if you want it, he'll give you little chances all the time. He'll just pop them in there, and you can say, I'm going to choose him in this one. I lost my headphones. Oh, I'm going to choose him in this one.
I love that because it's, well, one, it takes situations off the becoming a thing.
Yeah.
Or it takes even people's responses.
Mm-hmm.
I've had to walk through that a lot. Is like, I'm not subject to people's decisions.
Yep.
You may feel like it. It may look like it. Like these people are creating chaos around me or whatever. But I'm not a victim to it.
Right.
And I'm actually with the Lord, and so I'm totally safe.
Mm-hmm.
And those people aren't against me.
Right.
I think, we can get into a me versus you mentality.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, the God that I know wants you to have just as much success as they want the other person. So he's not, this isn't picking and choosing here.
Right.
But the other thing I was thinking when you were talking was like, oh yeah, man, that's what it is for us to take up sonship.
Yeah.
Like the sons of God arise is like, what do you want to do in this, God? And I will do it.
Yeah.
I will plant it. I will say it. I will speak it. I will not say anything. I'll do everything behind the scenes. I will, whatever you want me to do.
Yeah.
You show me the play and then I will do it. I will execute.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, man, that's what we're doing here.
Yeah. And everything pales in comparison to it. Yeah.
Totally.
It's that Metallica song. Nothing else matters.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
But I think there's an element, and I feel this like charge in the earth that the sons of God really are arising, like the mature sons of God that are just led by the Spirit of God.
Yeah.
And so it's like we're stepping into like mad amount of freedom.
Yep.
Where it's not about results or what's happening or this plastic realm. The Matrix.
Yeah, the Matrix.
Yeah. Like it is pure, utter relationship.
Yep.
And we just follow and connect to him.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's cool.
So that's been one of the things I was thinking about.
That's good. I've been thinking about it too. That's good.
The other thing I've been thinking about is hearing the voice of God.
Yeah.
On a regular.
Yeah.
Because, there's some of us that kind of talk about like, what does that look like and be like to live in oneness, to have the continual abide.
Yeah.
Like to be consciously aware of him at all times and all things.
Yep.
And one of the things I was thinking was, what if it's the practical steps of going through the very things that he's giving you? So like,
yeah,
almost chasing the hunger. So like if there's something that you're hungry about, that you're wanting to know more of him, that's probably because he's trying to take up more space in that so that you can live continually.
Yeah.
Whether that's like, hey, remember that you're not defined by circumstances.
Yeah.
Hey, like, I feel like that's kind of the track of stuff is whatever the Lord is trying to establish in you, it is for the continual awareness that you are abiding in him.
Yeah.
Like it's not something that you have to strive to enter into. It's just follow him by what's in front of you.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I think we're all going to get there.
Yeah, I think so.
Where we realize that we're operating in two different realms, probably multiple if we're going to be real honest.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like dimensions.
Yeah.
And really going into that, I think
that was a thought that I had yesterday. I think it was yesterday. I was at the kitchen table for some reason. I was drinking my coffee.
It's a good place to think.
I had that thought. Yeah, I remember carrying it groggy, just woke up, walking over there with the coffee. But I remember thinking, like, I'm so thankful that he gave us his heart. I'm so thankful that he gave us his mind. Yeah. That truly is, it is better that he goes away because he's giving us that level of closeness. I mean, just think about that. He's given us his everything.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, okay, this is going to be weird. Glad you said that. Weird vision I had today.
Yeah,
speaking of having God's mind.
Yeah.
I went for a run today, and all of a sudden I saw, it was just like it opened up in front of me. I saw my head floating, and it was on fire. It was blue energy.
Yeah.
And I heard the Lord say, your mind is burning with my mind.
Cool.
And it was just that reality of like, no, and it was this blue energy that came over me that was also infiltrating me.
Yeah.
And like literally creating new neural pathways.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh. Like it felt like that invitation to believe that I carry his mind in all things.
Yeah.
And, but it was just funny that you said that, but it broke off. It broke open even. So when that happened, there was actually a cat behind me. And it broke through what felt like limitation.
Yeah.
And when that happened, when it broke through, it became yellow.
Oh, cool.
And I felt like the revelation that I have his mind is actually what is bringing understanding.
Yeah.
And uncapping some limitations, even that I've been carrying about certain things.
Right.
Especially in like the business realm. It was just cool. It was funny that you were saying that about his mind. And
yeah.
Because that's where it's at, man. Realizing and accepting that we completely and totally have his mind in all things, and we have access to it. So.
Oh, that's cool. What's fun? Your language is hilarious. The neural pathways. I'm like, I can't, it's funny. I don't even fully know what that means.
Google it.
Yeah, it's just funny.
A neuro pathway.
I mean, I know neuro sounds like a brain thing, and I guess pathway. I guess it does make sense. It's just it's funny coming from you. It's your language and stuff. It's like I didn't sit, I didn't sit at the kitchen table like, oh, my neural pathways are being invaded.
Well, I saw that.
No, yeah, it makes sense. No, totally. It's your language. It's your language.
True. It's how he talks to me, man.
It's just funny.
But everything was like electric.
Yeah.
So it's funny that you say that. I feel like that actually might be a thing for people. Is like their mind lighting up that they actually have the mind of God.
Yeah.
And I think there's that
the
element.
Have the awareness of that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's like the collection of also realizing like we all have the mind of Christ.
Yep.
And so for me, it's like once you catch the reality that you have his, you'll start to see his mind in other people.
Yep.
You'll start to see the way that he is communicating, even if they're not catching it yet. You know?
Yeah. And what's in a mind? You know, thoughts, ideas, beliefs, like all these swirling things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Having his, though. Yeah.
What if we actually carried his faith, his mind, his belief?
Yep. I think that's the point.
Well, that's good. Everybody go into that. Sit with that. Meditate on that. What does it look like to have the mind of God?
Yeah.
Let it expand.
Yep. Toss that in there. Toss that around. That's good.
You know what I thought was really interesting? This is just a side note. I don't know if we're going to put this in here or not. I had a crazy thing happen today.
Oh, yeah?
I sat with a lady who has stage 4 cancer. And I think she really thinks she's going to die.
Yeah.
Because she asked me. She's talking about, you know, the afterlife, and she thinks we're going to be reincarnated. And that we, even though our souls died, like we're going to just come back and live another life, and it's perpetual and we'll never remember it. And she was like, I think the Bible says something about that.
Well.
And I was like, yeah, maybe. She just looked me dead in the eyes, though. And she goes, what do you think happens when we die?
Like genuinely wanting to know, what do you believe?
Craved. I could feel it pull. You know what I told her? I said, I think we get baptized into love.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think that you have the option to be baptized by love in this here, or you can have it on the other side. And she was like, yeah, but over here is so hard and it's horrible. And I mean, this girl, I don't know how I end up with some of the craziest stories, but
that's cool.
I mean, wild trauma, wild. And I was like, honestly, I said, I think that you have a destiny that was put within you before the foundations of the earth.
Yeah.
And you have the opportunity to continue to live it here. And just because other people in your life, they got taken out, doesn't mean that you will. And I think you have the opportunity to really bust forth through that and become an overcomer based on all this stuff. And you could tell, though, that it was the very thing she was craving. Craving for hope.
Cool.
Craving for like, am I going to live? She just wants somebody to tell her, am I going to live?
Yeah. Wow.
So that was cool.
That is cool.
And I never once felt like the Lord told me to say his name.
Yeah.
Not once.
Say his name, yeah.
Sometimes I feel like, you know, I need to be like, well, hey, like I actually believe that Jesus, da-da-da-da-da. I just said God. Yeah. And like.
Well, Jesus healed people and told them not to say anything and didn't tell them his name.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that there will be another opportunity, but that was the craziest thing. You could feel her. You could feel the craving in the room. It was.
Our belief is like an invitation.
A dry place. Yeah. And I just got to be like, you'll be baptized by love.
Yep.
And you can be baptized by love right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing.
I mean, I went into a whole lot more, but.
Sure.
I just thought it was funny. That was like my immediate response. It wasn't.
Yeah. It's like one of those little life. What are they called? Those little life float things.
Yeah.
Like she can latch onto that. And the fact that you're saying like she was yearning for that.
Yeah.
And if you have that and you believe it, I imagine her at that level is able to tell if you're BSing or not, you know, and to feel that's like, oh man.
Oh, I felt the energy shift in the room.
Yeah.
Like it was like a dynamic shift.
That's cool.
But it was sweet. That was a sweet day, a sweet moment today.
Yeah.
But I'd all yeah. No, what I was going to say was it feels like such a sweet honor.
Yep.
When the Lord brings people across our path for us to speak into.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, he trusts me with this.
Yeah.
Hey, he trusts me for these really difficult things.
Man, if I had a word to describe this week, it's honor. It's that. It's like, what an honor.
Bro, I have felt that same
That's
thing. It has felt like the Lord is really honored this week.
Yeah.
Honored me this week.
Yep.
Honored you. even the dream I had last night.
It's honorable. Yeah, definitely.
You know?
Definitely.
I won't go into that, but
yeah,
because that was weird. But
it's cool.
Rolling down the highway of holiness is what was happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyways, it's good stuff.
It is.
All right, guys. Well, this was quick and to the point.
It's 30 minutes. It's good. 26.
Yeah. See y'all next time.
If you enjoyed this episode of the Ancient Way podcast, drop us a like, share with your friends, share with your family. And if you would like to support us and what we are doing, and you would like to play a direct role in our growth and the things that we do in the future,
we have a donation spot at the bottom of our show notes. So you can click on that, give however much you want. We appreciate absolutely everything. We appreciate our listeners. And everybody that's already come alongside and encouraged us, and even everybody that's been on our show. So thanks, guys.